Good day, gamers. Fortain here, and welcome to episode 13 of Minecraft StoneBlock. Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Apologies for missing last week's episode. Unfortunately, once I had finished recording and editing the episode, I realized there were a few errors that, unfortunately, I wasn't able to edit around or fix in during that day. And there was also, unfortunately, not enough time for me to record or re-record the episode to then have it up on Friday. So unfortunately, yes, I missed last week's episode. I do apologize about that. But, you know, technical difficulties do happen every now and again. Thankfully enough, due to the copious amounts of double and triple saves and backup saves and such that I happen to make with the world itself, I was able to revert back to the point before I had started recording that episode. So no, while an hour's worth of progress was quote-unquote lost, you all have not missed anything because I was able to revert back to before when I started recording. So this world is as it was essentially after I finished recording the previous episodes and before I started recording today's episode, if that makes sense. But yes, hello everyone. The base is going along quite well, and we're going to be working on some various projects today, doing some more stuff with Pam's Harvest Craft, doing some more stuff with the chickens. We're going to be making some new items, making some new crafting stations, and so on. I was able to finally get a setup working to where this will automatically compress stuff and then have it cycle through. So we've got the cobblestone generator creating cobblestone that gets piped out into the auto compressor. Once the item is compressed, it goes into this side. The hopper here, and it has to be a hopper. I tried item pipes in many different locations, including right underneath it. They didn't work. It has to be a hopper. So the hopper hoppers it out into a small storage crate that I just have for space just in case. It then gets item piped back into here, and it's just going to be constantly cycling through this area. Don't have to worry about it overfilling. Don't have to worry about it getting clogged with other things. This will now just continuously compress until this thing is full, which is never going to be full because I'm going to empty it out when necessary. And it's going to take a very long time for it to even come close to filling. There is one upgrade that I do want to make to this auto compressor as before we get going. If we take a look at the auto compressor, which is what we have there, there is the auto compressor rationing version, which basically makes it so that it won't start compressing the items until it has 10 in a stack to keep 1 in its inventory, versus as soon as it hits 9, it goes ahead and compresses it. So it's just basically taking the auto compressor itself and surrounding it with gold. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. It's not necessary that I do that, but I would like to make it to where these things kind of stay in position. Let's see. Thank you. I'd like for them to stay in position kind of more evenly than jumping all around every time it gets enough to create the next stack. So we'll just simply take this. Auto compressor, boom, 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 boom. And we've got our auto compressor rationing. We can go ahead and put the gold back. Little sip of apple juice. And then we simply place the auto compressor like so. That gets it power. We replace the cobblestone generator like so. Hop here. Okay, that is pulling. Yep. So now you'll notice, as this is going through, it's going to wait until it gets at least 10 cobblestone before it attempts the compression thing before it attempts to compress. It'll do the same thing with the compressed. It'll wait until it has 10, and it creates the double compressed. We can pop the double compressed in there. We can go for the triple, quadruple, and quintuple. This is not necessary by any stretch of the imagination. I just wanted to kind of have, I just wanted to use the rationing one just to make it look a little better, just be a bit more neat and organized in here. So that way, when I come back and look at it, see, oh, how much progress have you made? I don't have to worry about, like, okay, we've got some doubles up here, but then some doubles down here, and so on. So it just keeps everything nice and neat. That's done. All right, the next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and get some more chickens going, with the goal today of breeding our next special chicken, which is going to be a redstone chicken. Over here, I have an area set up for the triple tens that I don't need a ton of, but I do kind of want to start getting their drops. It's just a little temporary area set up for it. I still haven't decided how I want to have the full-on permanent area set up for the chickens, so this is just kind of a work in progress. But this allows me to get all the oak wood, the flint, and of course the chicken manure and feathers, as well as the eggs and such. Why? That's weird. It's got 2 stacks. Interesting. I was just wondering why it had 2 stacks of that type of egg in there. Because... Alright, so we head over to our chicken box. We need to grab the chicken catcher and the animal net. Let's see. So we do need to go for the redstone chicken, which is going to require red chicken and sand chicken to make redstone. But I do want to get these other ones going. So let's do the ink black, the cyan, the gray. We'll do the red chicken, and let's do yellow chicken. Okay. We'll set these up in the hatchery area. These little nests, that'll get that going. Boop. Okay. Ink black. We've got cyan. We've got gray. Yellow. And we've got red. All right. So that'll be hatching as we're working on other stuff, and I'll take a look. I'll check on them every now and again. Let's grab some seeds. That way we can get them up to be adults much quicker. From there, there are a few more seeds that I need to buy from Ham's Harvest Craft to be able to complete the vast majority of the collection. It's not going to be the absolute full collection, but it's going to be the vast majority of them. So I am going to need more emeralds, because there's some seeds I need to buy. And if I remember correctly, there's actually going to be some seeds that we can only get in the Pam's market. So there's 2 different types of markets. There's the farming for blockheads market, and then there's the Pam's Harvest Craft market. So the majority we can get in here, but we'll have to craft the other one. Thankfully enough, there's a search bar, so we can make this pretty easy. So we need... Let's see, we're going to need the Pam's barley. Got it. We need the Giga Pickle. There we go, got that. We need the chickpea. Got it. And the elderberry, and then flax. Elderberry. And then we need flax. Now, most of these I could have purchased previously. I wasn't, like, out of emeralds or anything. It's just, as I was going through the list right here, I kind of was running out of inventory room. So I'm like, okay, let me grab these, call it good for now, and I'll buy the rest later, which is what I'm doing. We need the green grape. There we go. We need the huckleberry. Got it. We need the jicama. There we go. And next is jute. There we are. We need kenaf. There we go. We need kohlrabi. HL. There we are. Kohlrabi. We need lentil. Whole bunch of different types of beans and spices and stuff. We need millet, which is a type of grain, if I remember correctly. We need mulberry. One L in mulberry. Thank you. We need quinoa. If you've ever have a chance to have quinoa, go ahead and try it. It's really tasty. It's just a grain. It's a little bit like rice, but much different taste. It's quite tasty, at least for me. We need sisal. There we go. We need taro. Got it. We need tomatillo and juniper berries. Aha, and these are the ones. And juniper. Yep, okay. So these are the ones that we actually need to make the Pam's market to be able to get access to. But that's okay. We'll do so in just a second. Let's check our chicken eggs. Make sure they are growing well. About 50-ish% of the way done. Very good. Okay. Yeah, I remember from last time. These are the only two that are in this specific market block. Strange, but it's all right. There we go. So to make this market, we need an emerald, 4 of any wool, and 4 of any planks. That's pretty easy to make. We have plenty of planks. I think I have... Yep. There we go. Easily make some more wool. And we have the Pam's Harvest Craft Markets. Let's place it next to this guy. And here's where the issue, quote unquote, the issue is with Pam's Harvest Craft and their market. The fact that it's not in any sort of order, and you have to just click through all of these to find the one that you're looking for. At least there's a bunch of spawn eggs that I can purchase. I did not realize that. Okay, so these are all tree saplings. We have most, if not all of those at the moment, so we don't need to worry about these. Just going through. Again, not worried about like trying to see what each of them are because we already have them. Okay, rye. Kale. So yeah, the two that we need are tomatillo and juniper berry. So unfortunately, we kind of oh, there we go. Oop. There we go. And then yeah, I'm not a fan of having to like go through and see each of these seeds like this. Put, either have them go in alphabetical order or make it so you can see more than one at a time, because this is kind of silly. But oh well. Design decisions aside, it's not too hard to get to it. You just have to cycle through them. Come on. I would like the tomatillo. There we go. All right. So that is pretty much all of these seeds, or just about all, I should say, that are available right now through Pam's Harvest Craft and most of the other uh, mods that add seeds. I will go through and get a final count a little later once I'm actually going through and starting up all of the recipes that I need for, I need all of these materials to make all of these recipes. But for now, I should have the vast majority of them. Let's check on our eggs. Hey, our eggs are starting to hatch. Very nice. Come on over, little chicken. Get back here. Come join your friends in a feast. A seed feast. There we go. They're all growing up at the same time. That's very helpful. All right. Thank you. First one. Oop. That's two. Get your timer down. Perfect. All right. Got the yellow one. Perfect. And perfect. All right. So, like I said, the next chicken that I want to breed is the redstone chicken, which is going to be red chicken and sand chicken. We do currently have a sand chicken over here. It is triple 10. So I am going to grab this chicken for now. Boop. And as we did last time, we're going to put them in the chicken breeder. So if we take a look, red chicken plus stuff makes the cocoa brown, orange, pink, purple, redstone, and blood chicken. We're going for the redstone chicken. So we need red and sand makes redstone. Red and sand will eventually make a redstone chicken. Now, as we saw, they do start off at triple 1. Perfectly fine. We'll raise them up as necessary. So not a big deal. We do want to go ahead and start getting some additional eggs from these triple 10 chickens, just to make sure, in case something happens to them, Minecraft, especially modded Minecraft. Hey, get back here. Modded Minecraft being goofy. We want to make sure we have multiple backups for each of the chickens, just to be on the safe side. All right, chickens be breeding. While the chickens be breeding, let's go ahead and plant all those seeds that we just got. That way we can start growing some of those things out. And we can also go ahead and plant some bushes that I've gotten recently. Let's see. This is going to take a little bit of time to simply grab one of just about each seed. These are, for the most part, in alphabetical order. I will go through now that I have these extra seeds that I just bought and re-put them into alphabetical order just for long-term storage. Let's see, got canola. But for now, I'm just grabbing one of each just so I can plant everything. There we go. Stopping at celery there. The seeds themselves are not going to be necessarily in alphabetical order as I'm planting them. Just because as I'm moving stuff around, something will probably get out of order as it happens. But once I have everything set up in the eventual garden cloches, then it will be fully in alphabetical order, starting, A to Z. Every single seed, every single growable that can be grown within a garden cloche will be set up in this farming area and just producing an infinite amount of those supplies. Why? Because I can. Celery was the one we just grabbed. Go ahead and grab the next set. There's celery. There's also a few that I'm not going to be planting at the moment. Mostly the melon seeds and the pumpkin ones. Just because those do require some extra growing area. I don't have enough room at the moment to set up a specific spot just for them to grow, but I will in a bit. As I said, I do also want to make sure I have room for some bushes that I've managed to get. The main bushes that I'm talking about are the ones that I got from purchasing from the other market. I want to say it was last time, if not the time before. But I've also had some compressed dirt going through my diamond mesh for a while, in amongst running a bunch more compressed gravel, compressed sand, and such, just to continue getting those extra supplies. And if you run compressed dirt through the heavy sieve, you have a very low chance, but it is a chance, of getting some of the ore bushes from the ore berries mod, which I will show you what that looks like in just a moment. So again, it's a very low chance, so I just had a few stacks of compressed dirt going through just to kind of try and get them ahead of time. I haven't planted them. I haven't even taken them out of the crate that I have set aside. Let's see, that is peanuts. I haven't even taken them out of the crate at all. The crate that I get the drops from the auto sieve. Haven't touched them yet. Just left them in there, and I'll show you them in a minute. Just so you all can see me grabbing them for the first time and then going to plant them and such. That's pumpkin. But with any luck, now that I have these bushes, especially considering that one of them is an essence bush, that gives me solidified experience, which means hopefully I'll be able to get to enchanting much faster. I can, of course, just go build a mob grinder and start getting XP through mobs, but I kind of want to try and get as far as I can before I'm actually actively making mob grinders. Why? Because. Alright. I will most definitely have to build a pretty not extensive, I guess would be the wrong word, but a pretty good mob grinder to get the various drops that I'm going to need from the different mob types here in this mod pack. Because there's obviously, there's obviously, the vanilla mobs like creepers and spiders and zombies and such. But I'm sure there's going to be several modded ones that will only spawn under certain circumstances that I'll need to make a special, mob trap, mob farm for. Oh, that's the sugarcane seed. That's right. That was the other one that I can't plant right now because I got to set up it's probably got to be a grass block, or not a grass block, excuse me. Got to be a block that's directly next to a water source block. So I will set that one up a little later. Tomato. Oh wait, what am I doing? Yeah, that last one. Yeah, sorry. White mushroom. Reminding myself where I was. So winter squash is the next one. Zucchini. And then all of these. There we go. Okay. So this is going to be a nice beginning to my new farm area here. Just grow a bunch of stuff. I don't need a lot of this stuff that I'm currently growing. Like, I don't have a specific project or intent at the moment for these seeds, and thereby their, you know, the crops that they grow. But I do want to start having some of them available just to be able to play with. Be like, okay, I'm gonna make, you know, a couple fruit salads because I want to eat fruit salad instead of drinking, you know, apple juice all the time. Cool, I can go ahead and start making fruit salads. Or say I want to start making like some meaty stews. I can go ahead and start making meaty stews and eat those instead of drinking apple juice all the time. But we got ourselves a nice farm going. Let's go check on our chickens. See how they're doing. Hopefully, we have ourselves a redstone chicken. Red chicken and sand chicken still. They're working on it. Nope, just some more sand chickens and red chickens. That's fine. We'll leave them to it. Okay. So, as I was saying, over here from the auto heavy sieve, I've been sieving a bunch of dirt, a bunch of gravel and sand and dust. And if we take a look right here, we've got the ore berries. These are bushes that are used to grow these specific berries. If we take a look here. Nope. There we go. They're from the ore berries mod. So we have iron, gold, copper, tin, aluminum, and essence. So we've got 6 bushes total, and thankfully enough, we have some of each. Go ahead and grab those into the inventory. Now, I'm not going to plant every single one. I think I'm going to plant like maybe 4 of each, just to have them. But I do also have some other bushes over here. Once again, the ones that I got from the market. Yeah, I purchased these before. I'd like to go ahead and plant those as well. Let's also grab, where's my watering can? There it is. Go ahead and grab the watering can and see if we can get some drops going for these. I do believe that I will go ahead and plant them just in the center here. So let's see. These do have, let's do aluminum, copper, essence, gold, iron, and tin. So I think, let's see, can I stack them? I don't think I can stack them, but that's okay. I'll just put them, I'll put them next to each other. There's copper. Got essence. Got gold. Hey, it's already growing. Nice. We got iron. Why will you not allow me to place you here? I can put it there. Strange. Yeah, it won't let me put the iron. There's nothing here. There's nothing weird. And let's do tin. No. I don't know why it won't let me put it in this block here, but that's all right. Okay. I'm guessing there's some, like, this entire area is lit perfectly fine. I'm just guessing there's some sort of like, hey, you can only have a certain number in an area. I don't know, but that's okay. I don't think. Oh, actually, watering them themselves doesn't do much, but if you water the ground nearby, that forces them to grow. Oh, 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 oh! Ow! Apparently, they hurt. Didn't know that, but as we can see, the essence bush is done, and we now have 2 concentrated essence berries. Give a nice amount of XP. Ahead and heal myself from walking on the berry bushes. Accidentally harvest some parsnips and onions. But yeah, this will actually be a pretty good way to get XP, and should allow me pretty quickly to get access to enchanting. Very nice. Nothing else is wanting to grow at the moment, but that's okay. This is more of a test than anything, just to let them sit here and grow. So, good enough for me. We'll go ahead and put these bushes back. We'll grab the other bushes and let them start growing. Head to our miscellaneous... Nope, not miscellaneous. Here we go. So we got aluminum, copper, essence, gold, iron, and tin. And then we'll grab all of these ones from Natura and plant them on the other grassy area. And let these grow for a bit. Oh, giant field of wheat. Very nice. So we got dusk, sky, sting, lightberry, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, and mellowberry. Okay. Water these for a second just to see if watering them does anything. I think if I grab some bone meal, that will also make these grow faster. Although it looks like, once again, maybe kind of like watering the ground around them. Hey, we have our first blueberry. Nice. Sometimes, if you either use bone meal on it in a certain way or water them in a certain way, you can actually get the bushes themselves to multiply. Just like that. Exactly. Just like that. So as you saw, the bush grew upwards into a taller bush. So I can actually use that to propagate the bushes, get more of them, and therefore also getting more of their drops. Huzzah! Alright. That'll be a little fun thing to come over and play with every now and again. We can go ahead and put this away. Put these berries and other foods away for the moment. And the next thing I would like to do, I've been using on and off the methane digester over here just to get some extra power. Sometimes I need a bit of extra power if I'm like crushing a bunch of cobble into gravel and so on, or if I'm chopping up a bunch of sticks into sawdust. So I've been using the methane digester every now and again. And obviously I've got the basic fluid tank set up as essentially just like a little side collection for the liquid fertilizer. But I do want to go ahead and upgrade this as well as my other tank to their highest capacity. Because I have the materials to do so. So why not? It's mostly just going to take enriched alloys, reinforced alloys, and atomic alloys, as well as a bunch of iron to do so, which I have more than enough iron to do so. Iron is pretty much one of the easiest things to get from sieving, so I tend to get quite a bit of it. So if we take the basic fluid tank, add some enriched alloy with iron, we get the advanced tank. No. I don't want to use that one. I'm going to empty that one in just a second. So we have the advanced tank. We then have the elite tank with reinforced alloy. And last but not least, we have the ultimate tank, adding the atomic alloys to it. There we go. So as you can see, we went from capacity of 14 buckets to 112 buckets. That is quite a large jump in capacity. So, boop. Yeah, as you saw before, this 11.5 buckets was up to about here on the previous fluid tank. Now it's not even up to the first red line, so that is awesome. We'll go ahead and take this ultimate fluid tank, set it down like so, and now whenever we put more manure into the fertilizer mixer, a lot of it will go over to the methane digester, but we'll also siphon a little bit off to the side just to make sure the system doesn't fill up too much. We shall do the same process with this basic fluid tank that is now empty, going to advanced, then elite, and ultimate. And now what I'll do is anytime that I need to make another fluid tank for whatever other fluid that I need to hold, I'm just going to go ahead and make it, obviously, but then bump it up straight to the ultimate fluid tank because I have enough materials to do so. I'm not going to worry about sticking with just the basic one for a while and then maybe upgrading it to advanced later on if I, am starting to run out of room, and then maybe elite and so on. Got that done. Just going through my list real quick. Got that done. Let's go check on our chickens real quick and see if we happen to have a redstone chicken. Yay! We've got ourselves our first redstone chicken. Okay. We'll go ahead and wait for this breeding attempt to finish, and we'll place the redstone chicken in the little pen over here. There we go. Thank you. Okay. We shall take the redstone chicken. Grab the chicken. And boom. So now this will start making redstone, and we can also use it to start furthering our chickens. We're gonna have to breed the redstone chicken with a few other chickens to make even better chickens. But for now, it's a 111, and we'll just work it on up as we've done for all the others. Speaking of chickens, we do have some of the solidified experience that I got last time when I was culling some of the overstocks, or the in-progress chickens, I should say. So let's go ahead and use that up. Nice. Not even a full level, but that's okay. Let's see. I would like to make another thing from Pam's Harvest Craft. Not Parm, Pam. Because we need to gain access to a few more materials here. And that is the water filter. Not the water trap, which is what we've been using to get the fish drops. I need to make the water filter. The water filter itself is just stone surrounded by iron bars, which is, I mean, sure, that's a crafting recipe, so why not? We should have some iron bars left over. Yes, perfect. And in fact, the exact amount I need. We originally made these iron bars to make, what did we make with them? Oh yes, we made the sprinklers with them. That's right. So if we take the stone, surround it with iron bars, we get the water filter. So what the water filter does is it consumes woven cloth, which is simply just a bunch of string, and it creates fresh water and salt. The fresh water is nice because it is stackable, unlike buckets of water. They stack up to 64, like most things. But what it does is it allows you to craft a whole bunch of stuff that requires water as a crafting recipe, like dough and certain stocks and soups and things like that. It allows you to craft them in stacks versus having to fill up a water bucket, go into the thing, craft one thing, retrieve the empty buckets, fill up the water bucket, and so on and so on. It just makes it so much faster. And salt is obviously a spice that we're going to need for a fair amount of recipes, I believe. So we do want to go ahead and get, let's see, 2 wooden hoppers. And I do think I want to go ahead and we'll make a couple storage crates just to be able to store not only the woven cloth that we'll need for this, but also all of the water and the salt. I don't plan on making a ton or having it run for a long time, but it'll still be good to have a larger storage system than just putting in a regular chest. So taking a look at our old friend, the storage crates, we're going to need 2 of them. So 2 wood casings. And then we're going to need 8 chests. That makes 2 small storage crates. We can go ahead and put away the rest of this for right now. Oops. Put those sticks there. And put those there like so. All right, let's go get this set up. And then we'll go ahead and let's see. Got the water filter, small storage crates. Off camera, just to make it easy, I went ahead and built this little water area here. It's pretty much just a copy of this because it requires the same type of setup for how you actually filter the water. Just a 5x5 of water, with this being on the, not on the surface, but in the surface, for lack of a better term. And just like the water trap, we'll be adding the woven cloth to it to make it work. Let's put the crate here. We've got that. The water filter is on top. Wooden hopper here. And then the small storage crate. I'm going to go make some of those wooden cloths real quick, and I shall be right back. There we go. Sorry, just had to mute myself for a minute, but we are good. So we take the string here, and like I said, this is going to be running on the woven cloth, which is easy to make. Head over here at the crafting bench. Take a look. Woven cloth is simply 2 pieces of string makes 1 woven cloth. So we'll make a stack for right now just to have it. Head back over to the water filter. And again, I don't plan on having this run all too often. I'm not going to make a lot of the stuff that this thing requires, but it's good to just set up the larger storage for it. And that way, if I need a bunch at one time, I can throw the materials at it and come back later and it'll craft. And I don't have to worry about, oh no, I started off with the smaller storage and didn't take into account that I now need a ton of it. I threw a bunch of supplies at it, and now it's not working because it's been overfilling. But we got the woven cloth. It's just going to cycle through. And yeah, we've got the fresh water and the salts. And even the wooden hopper, which is slower than a regular hopper, is fast enough to get the stuff out of here before it completes the next operation. So yeah. We now have infinite fresh water and infinite salt. The fresh water itself, like I said, is used in multiple recipes, steamed things. We make soy sauce. We can make pretzels. We can make oyster sauce, mushroom ketchup, hot sauce. But we can also put it in the presser if we want to make bubbly water. And then with the bubbly water, we can make sodas. Because why not? All right. That's just going to be crafting for a while, so we're good for that. Let's see. Going through my list. We've got all of that. All right. Perfect. Let's see. Since we've got some of the chickens set up, and we're going to be getting more drops from them, the main drop that I haven't started processing from them yet is, as you can see, the feathers. We've got a lot of feathers, and there's not a lot that I can do with the feathers right now, but if I craft... There we go. If I craft the shredder from hatchery, it'll allow me to grind up the feathers into feather meal and feather fibers. With the feather fibers, I can turn into fiber pads, which I can then turn into wool. I can also turn it into more string for more woven cloth. I can also take the feather meal and turn it into chicken feed, or adding some water, turn it into feather pulp, which then can be dried into paper. What I can also do is I can start making the plastic that is in hatchery, which is this right here, the plastic there, that I can then use to make the different upgrades. Now, unfortunately, the plastic in hatchery does not count as the plastic that is in other mods, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. The main thing I'm going to be doing right now is essentially just making the feather fibers just to have an extra source of string. So the shredder itself is iron ingots, a diamond sword, and a block of redstone, which is easy enough to make. Got plenty of iron, got a block of redstone, and I have enough diamonds to spare to be able to make an extra diamond sword for crafting purposes. There we go. Diamond sword. And we have the shredder. Okay. With this, let's go ahead and grab ourselves... Thinking we could probably just use an item pipe. Yep, a singular item pipe should be good. We'll grab wooden hopper. And yeah, let's go ahead and make 2 more of the storage crates because we love storage crates. They work so well. It's just kind of, especially for this mod pack, it's kind of by default. Do I need to store something that's bigger than just a regular storage, a regular treasure chest, a regular Minecraft chest? Just make a crate and be done with it. So yes, we're going to just make 2 more small storage crates. Small, of course, being in quotation marks. There we go. And there we go. 2 small storage crates. Perfect. Put this away and put the sticks away, and we'll get this set up. Okay. We should be able to put it right next to here. We've got the shredder, like so. So this will be powered. It's gaining power. Interesting that it's gaining power kind of slowly. I'm guessing that's just a limitation of the machine itself and obviously not the cabling, because the cabling goes very fast. Okay, let's see if we can pull out of here correctly. We may have to hopper out, and if so, not a big deal. We'll just set up the same kind of hopper system as the auto compressor. Speaking of the auto compressor, I'm very much loving the fact that it is just continuously running. Okay. Hopper on top, and then the small storage crate. And let's grab a few feathers, make sure this works before I shove just a bunch of feathers in there. Because if it doesn't work, well, we gotta adjust things. Okay. Hopper going through. Oh, okay. I I see part of the problem. Okay, well, good to know that unfortunately that's not going to work correctly. This is why we test things. Sometimes we're doing it live. Okay, so as we can see, the it's going to pull out from the side, but it's pulling what's in the top slot from the side, not what's at the bottom from the side. Okay. That's all right. An easy fix. We'll just have to make another hopper. Not a big deal. But essentially just to show it off, we put a feather in here. Grinds it up into feather fibers with a chance of the feather pulp. Or feather meal, I think it is. Yeah, the feather meal. I can also put the feather fibers back in if I want specifically to get feather meal. Boop. And there we go. So I'll have to put this on a hopper like I did over here. Most likely that should work. And then it'll just do the same thing, hopper out into the small storage crate. Not a biggie. Okay. Put this back for the moment. I believe the last thing that I would like to do after checking on my chickens, making sure they're doing good. Cyan chicken is good. Yellow chicken is good. Gray chicken is good. Inky black chicken is good. And how's our redstone chicken? We already have a 333 redstone chicken. Awesome. Okay. Making good progress on that. That'll be very helpful. Once I start working on some of the integrated dynamic stuff, because I'm going to need a lot of redstone to do that. And I haven't been getting a whole lot of redstone from just sieving. I've been getting some, enough to be getting along with. But there is a lot more that I'm going to need. So that's all right. But the last thing that I would like to do is I want to work with some more Botania stuff. Specifically, I want to be able to move my current Botania setup and then start working with the better generating the better generating flora. Let's put away the feather fibers, the feather meal for the moment. And all of this, we'll put the feathers themselves away. I will reconfigure the shredder a little later. I'm going to need some Botania stuff. We are going to need the Lexica Botania and our Wand of the Forest. So off camera, just because I was generating some mana before, I tossed in some more mana steel, or tossed in some more iron to make mana steel. You all saw me do that last time. I made some extra just so I've got some for crafting. But I want to make, first off, is a mana tablet for two reasons. One, so I can absorb the mana that's currently in there and move the mana pool. And second, I also want to power my mana using items. So the mana tablet itself, it's pretty easy, just some living rock surrounding a mana pearl or mana diamond. I don't have access to the pearls yet, because that takes an ender pearl. But I do have plenty of diamonds. And I also made sure, before I started recording, that I had enough mana in the pool to be able to make the first mana diamond. It took, I want to say, about 2 full usages of the hydroagnias to be able to make enough mana to make my first mana diamond. But now that we have the mana diamond, like I said, we can make the mana tablets and then start working with the endoflames. The endoflames are probably going to be my most used generating flora, just because they're easy to make. They don't cost much of anything to make. But they are also incredibly easy to automate. Hey, we've got ourselves a mana tablet. Because the endoflames simply consume things like charcoal or blocks of charcoal, blocks of coal coke, and so on. Once I have the methods of gaining an absolute tonnage of those materials, and toss it in there, and that's going to absorb all the mana. I can set it up to where the End of Flames will just have a continuous supply of blocks of coal or charcoal or coal coke or whatever in a circling hopper system. The blocks of coal will drop down. They'll land probably on like a little pressure plate. The End of Flames around that pressure plate will have a chance to grab the coal. If they grab the coal, cool, they'll use that to generate mana. If they don't, a few seconds later, I'm going to have a hopper hawk set up to then grab the coal, put it back into the dropping crate, drops it again, and just keeps recirculating. So that way the hopper hawks will always have a chance to grab the coal when it needs it because it can't overuse it. And I'm never going to have the items just sitting on the ground and have them despawn by accident, which is never a good thing to do. Right. Mana pool is empty. Very good. Paxel and mana spreader. So we got the pool and the spreader. I need something because I didn't grab it before. Need to clean up this water, which won't take but a moment. Let's see. Just grab some oak wood planks. Just do so real quick. Real quick. Right. Bum, 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 and bum. Perfect. There we go. All cleaned up. So I would like to take the mana pool itself right now, and we're gonna stick it. We're gonna stick it right here. I'm gonna have the End of Flames surrounding it because they're also going to be surrounding the mana spreader itself. And because I want to have a little bit of room to toss stuff into and out of the mana pool easily, I'm actually going to have. Let's see. That should be enough. Yeah. I could just have the mana spreader sit essentially right on top of the mana pool, but then I'd have like next to no room to try and toss stuff into the pool to either absorb mana or transform it to something. So I'm just going to have it sit like a block above. It's currently pointing that way. I do want it to point downwards like so. There we go. All right, now let's go get the materials that we need to make the End of Flames. I don't want to make too many at once, and I don't want to have too many attached to the mana spreader at once. For the simple reason that if you are generating more mana than the mana spreader can hold and then fire out as a burst of mana, you're wasting the material that you're using to generate mana with. It's just going to be a waste. So, let's see. End of Flames. End of Flames are pretty easy to make, like I said. Just takes brown, red, and light gray. I'm going to make 8 for right now. I'm not going to use all 8, but I just want to make 8 for now. So that's going to be 16 brown and 8 red, 8 light gray. 8 red and 8 light gray. We've got plenty of seeds already, so that's not a big deal. We'll grab a bucket to be able to make the things. We need water in the Petal Apothecary to craft these. Head on over to said Petal Apothecary. And it's a pretty simple procedure. Water, 2 browns, red, light gray, seed. And we have ourselves an End of Flame. And thankfully enough, we have enough inventory space that I can just right-click with an empty hand, do this a little faster. go. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. That should be more than enough to be getting along with. Like I said, I'm not planting all of them just yet. I want to make sure that I don't approach filling the mana spreader too full. I will grab... I've got plenty of coal, plenty of charcoal. I've got plenty of coal. So, okay. Good enough. Okay. I love the endo flames. They work so well. All right. So taking a look, we've got the endo flame. Oh, I'll plant 2. Fine. That's fine. The endo flames themselves, they're already connected to the mana spreader. Let's toss down a couple blocks of coal. Perfect. As you can see, it's not attempting to pick up the other one. So if we take a look at the mana spreader, so just 2 is not even close to hitting that first little marker on there. So let's add 2 more. There we go. How's 4? 4 is doing good. 4 is not enough to hit the first marker. Let's do 6. Perfect. How is 6 looking? Still the same. Okay. So yeah, 8 should be making sure that all of them are attached to the mana spreader, which they all are. Perfect. We're already getting some mana in there. Very nice. Okay. Oh, those ones just ran out. And let's see. Yep, that is perfect. So 8 endo flames going on to 1 regular mana spreader is not even coming close to overfilling the mana spreader, which is good. That's what I want to see. I don't want there to be any chance of me losing mana by accidentally overfilling the system. So all I need to do is every now and again come over here, toss out a bunch of blocks of coal. All of the endo flames will attempt to eat it. They'll pick up what they can. I'll pick up the rest and then just let this thing run on mana. Now the reminder for the endo flames is that they will only excuse me, let's try that again. The block of fuel that goes into it lasts half as long as it would in a furnace. So for example, the block of coal burns for 16,000 ticks, which is 800 seconds. So they would last for 400 seconds, which is roughly about 6 to 7 minutes. So 1 block of coal will generate mana for roughly about 6.5 to 7 minutes. So I don't have to feed the system very often. Just come over here like heck once every 10 minutes. Toss a bunch of coal at them, let them eat it, grab the remainder, go back to doing whatever I'm doing. And that is already generating. That little line on mana is already moving. So awesome. Okay, I have a tiny bit of mana in my mana tablets. The last thing I'm going to do for tonight's episode is I want to make myself a little bauble to be able to actually start using said mana. Nothing that's really required right now. I just like to have it for when I'm harvesting a bunch of stuff in my farm, so I don't have to go chasing stuff down. And that is the Ring of Magnetism. So if we take a look, I can't make the greater ring of magnetism. I am nowhere near that yet. But the regular ring of magnetism is simply mana steel ingots and a mana lens of magnetizing, which is gold and iron on a mana lens. Mana lens itself is a pane of glass and 4 mana steel, which again, as I showed you, I've made a bunch of mana steel ahead of time just so I already have it. There we go. We'll grab ourselves a pane of glass. You can use a whole block of glass to make the mana lens, but kind of why? Because it'll take less materials overall to just use the pane of glass. So I'm just going to use a pane of glass because I can. I am not in any way lacking for materials to make glass, but I figured, you know what? If I can save a little bit here and there, sure, why not? So we've got the mana lens itself. We then make the mana lens of magnetizing, and then the actual ring of magnetization. Huzzah! All right. We can equip that. And that also gets us an advancement. Inner Arts, which if we take a look is craft any variety of bauble and wear it. We've just done so. That's our first ring. Bunch of other advancements to get, which we'll make in time. Take another quick look at our mana spreader. Just see it firing off in the distance is always a nice thing to see. Again, not even coming close to overfilling. Everything is running nice and good. And we can see the pool starting to fill up. It's very awesome. So, to show the usage of the ring of magnetization, we'll go grab our watering can and go just harvest a couple crops. Put that away. Grab the watering can. And away we go. Yes, I'm partially doing this for the fact that I'm going to be a little lazy every now and again. And like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm grabbing everything instead of chasing it all down. So as you can see, instead of having to walk around and gather up the wheat and seeds and other things, all I have to do is just hold right click and they all just come shooping right towards me. I don't have to worry about, oh no, some got caught underneath, this little waterway, or when I happened to right click it to, harvest the crop over there, it kind of pops out in an odd way and now I have to go chase it down. Nope. It just goes straight into my inventory. Like so. Perfect. And I already have a ton of drops. Awesome. And then all I have to do is just basically keep walking through here, holding right click, and I'll just be constantly harvesting all the things, watering all the things, and all of their drops will just continue to go in my inventory. Let's see. Crops deep storage. We can just go ahead and put that. Nope, get back. Take that. And that's the coffee beans. We have our seeds. Seeds themselves I can just put back into the chicken breeding area. Don't. There we go. Seeds back in here. Always need more seeds for the chicken breeding. Yeah. 333. Okay. I do believe that is going to do it for tonight. We've got ourselves a ton of fresh water and salts. We've got ourselves the newest chicken, the redstone chicken. We've got ourselves a bunch more 1010 chickens that I can set up over the material gathering area. And we are inching our way closer to our first sets of enchanting. What I'll probably end up doing is off camera, going ahead and watering that essence berry bush to the point to where I can get my first, get up to level 30. And then probably towards the beginning of next episode, go ahead and do my first level 30 enchantments. But until next time, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have a good day and good game.